You're tuning into the Ray Donovan After Show. Tonight we're covering Season 5, Episode 4, Sold. And we got a special guest in the house. Keep it locked, AFTERBUZZ TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Ray Donovan. We have a special treat for you, and kudos to him for picking this dope song. Pooch is in the house. What's going on, Pooch?
What up, what up? Pooch Deal Double Jeezy in the building.
Thanks for, coming back this season. I know we had you on last season, so couldn't pick a better episode to have you on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sold out? Sold?
Sold.
Yeah.
Sold. That's the one.
The DVD will be sold out.
So where can everyone hit you up at?
They can hit me on my Instagram, I am Pooch Hall, and my Twitter, I am _Pooch Hall. Don't get it twisted.
Follow or it doesn't count. And I got my co-host up in the studio. What's going on, guys?
Hi, AfterBuzzers. My name is Louisa, and you can find me on Instagram at Nobody Reads Anymore and on Twitter at Nobody Reads.
Hey everybody, thanks for being here. My name is Elysabeth Alfano, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DinnerPartyCHGO.
And hello everyone, I'm Rachel Goodman. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Rachel Goodman, or on Facebook, yes, I'm still there, at Rachel Ann Goodman.
Yeah.
And before we get into tonight's episode, I just want to let you guys know that here at AfterBuzz TV, we're actually going through a couple of changes. And don't worry, our after shows are still going to be here, but we're actually expanding because we heard from you. You guys want more, and that's exactly what you're getting.
You asked, baby, you're gonna get it.
So exciting.
So get used to seeing us.
So we're expanding our network to be more than just after shows. We're actually going to have genre-specific shows. So whether you like drama, whether you like wrestling, whether you like sports, comedy, reality, we have all the niche shows just for you.
Even scripted might be coming your way, people, so you just don't know how it's gonna shake out. So be sure to stay tuned.
And all the changes, we're kind of rolling with it, so maybe what you're looking for isn't here right away, but don't worry, it's coming soon. And give us a shout out and let us know what you're hoping to see from us.
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyways, welcome, Pooch.
Thanks, ladies.
AKA Daryl. I feel like this was such a perfect episode to have you on because,
you.
this is like the first time in the season that, it's your time to shine.
Yeah, it is my time to shine. Your boy's gonna spread his wings and fly away. It's a big season for me.
That's awesome.
And I'm really excited because we get to see a side of Daryl that we haven't seen before.
So it seems like Daryl's kind of stepping up to the plate, right? He's like taking over the family biz, so to speak.
Well, it's one of these things to where it's like I've always been in the family biz. It was like they never really gave me anything to do. They'd be like, go wash the car, But now it's like I get my hands dirty and like I show my loyalty, I show my edge, and then it's towards the end of the season, I'm forced to make a choice.
And we see you kind of evolving into a Ray 2.0, like we kind of talked about. So do you feel like there's pressure to kind of hold up to Ray's name and kind of be the fixer of everything like he was?
Ray 2.0, I like that, but I'll call myself Black Donovan.
Oh, yes, you are.
Hey. It's just one of these things to where I kept trying to get Ray's attention. I kept trying to get his approval. Yeah. I wanted to be accepted by him because all the other brothers accepted me. But Ray was the only one. And we all know that Ray, out of the family, was the only one who had his stuff together. And I identified with everyone, but Ray, I felt I identified with more. And I was just like, Ray, give me a shot. So as this show starts to continue to evolve, and we put the pieces together as to how we got in certain places, because I know we're dealing with a lot of flashbacks, Abby's death, or is Abby dead?
What?
I'm not giving you nothing.
Wait a minute. This changes everything.
You be careful, Goodman. No, I'm telling you, it's one of these things. It's one of these things to where you have to watch all the way to the end as they put the story together. A lot of people keep hitting me on my social media. Is it a dream? Why is she dead? What happened? I don't understand. What's going on? Is this real?
Yeah.
And I tell them you have to keep watching, and each person has their story that they're telling. And for me, I hope that getting this new role in this new world that I'm starting to really like spread my wings in, that you guys are entertained and that you guys like what you see. I had fun. This was my funnest season that I've done so far. So you just gotta wait and see, I guess.
Well, I love seeing how I knew something was different this episode because you're dressing differently and
Very
you're
sharp.
carrying yourself like
Yeah.
Ray.
Yeah.
So I love that sort of swag and confidence
Yeah.
that's come your way. Like, yeah, you can give it to me.
Yeah.
I'm the man. So I'd love to
take
see
care of
that.
it.
But you were saying before the show that you actually had to talk to the writers about like, hey, let's see what more this character can do.
Yeah, I was like, they mentioned some stuff to me because I asked them, where's Daryl going? Because Daryl was kind of like an enigma. Literally, he was like the black sheep, and it was like, at what point in time are you going to kill the sheep? Are you going to shave the sheep? Or is the sheep going to eat with the rest of the
This
flock?
poor sheep.
Yeah.
And so at this point in time, it's like, you know what? You're right. And maybe they had certain things. They did have certain things in mind, but when we talked about and we hashed things out, like, there was things that happened that we didn't know were going to happen that were like great according to what the producers and the higher up said. So like it was just a taste as to like, okay, what's going to happen now with Daryl now that he's in this world. And then we see an element of danger where, Brian White's character kills the sensei by accident, which is based off of a true incident that happened in the sports world.
Really?
Not with a samurai sword, though. It was a shotgun.
Oh my gosh.
I believe basketball player Jason Williams killed his limo driver by accident.
But how do you accidentally?
There's no Ray
Here's-
Donovan there to clean it up.
It's not like you're rehearsing anything with the shotgun.
Well, I don't know what they was doing with the shotgun. I wasn't there, but I just know
It was an
that,
accident.
I don't know if it was like, you want to see if guns really kill people?
Oh,
Like,
God.
I'm not making fun because,
It's a serious
somebody died.
thing, yes.
But you're right. I don't know who plays with guns. But there was a similar incident where we had a famous athlete, Jason Williams, who I believe accidentally killed his limo driver.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like a big thing. So, you guys can go look that up on Google or whatever. But here we have a story to where this famous actor goes and kills his sensei training for a movie.
Yeah.
And yes, it is an accident, but someone like this character, he doesn't know what to do. He's panicking, and I got a little nauseous in the
Yeah.
scene.
So tell us about
Was
this.
it?
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to be like gross here, but
What was in your mouth?
Was it oatmeal?
That was
Was
an
it
amazing
oatmeal?
scene.
Tell us.
Yeah.
yeah. 'Cause
Okay.
It looks so real.
I played it real. It was real. Kidding.
No.
No. Okay, I'll tell you what though. They
tell
said,
us.
this is Pooch. They go, in the scene where you throw up, they go, we have some options. Oatmeal was one.
Okay,
that's
always
doable.
a good choice.
Okay.
That's doable.
Pass. Then we had pea soup. Pass. Two exorcists.
Yes.
Two exorcists.
Yes, agreed.
They said we have vegetable minestrone. I was like, that's my guy. And so I did the vegetable minestrone. So like the one thing about acting, you guys, who I don't know who's acting or who has interviewed or talked to any other actors or auditioned, but like you want to play it real, and playing it real is not overselling it. And so oh my God, I did that take. I did 2 different times I threw up, and we did it like a number of times, but you don't think to throw up. It's just like you're sitting there and then you do like a sense memory thing. And so I put it in my mouth and then put it in my mouth. Pause. And I just watched the thing and it just happened. I just did the sense memory thing and it just kind of came out. But all the camera guys were like, holy shit, they were all laughing.
You can go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm
Go
sorry.
right ahead.
Holy crap! They was like, that looked real. And so they said it was really good because I know when I saw when Mickey cut the hand off,
Yeah.
and you saw it looked really real.
Oh,
'Cause, like,
yeah.
my
Looked real.
agent had called me that night. It was just like, great job, and everybody wanted to know about the puke. So it was vegetable minestrone, slightly warm.
Uh-huh.
Give me even more of a real feeling.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
it wasn't like hot soup. It was like luke.
Already
So,
digested
it was,
soup.
Right. And it was just like not so tasty. Good.
Okay.
I'm watching you. Good.
You see my.
I'm watching you.
And I love how Mickey comes to save you and help you.
No,
in this
it's,
situation?
I'm still, now mind you, I'm still a rookie.
You
okay?
are.
Not from the game rookie, but I'm still a rookie in trying to figure this out. And I have, as you see, I mean, I'm like, I can do this.
Yes.
But here comes Mickey saving the day. So there's a little bit of resentment there, a little bit like, hey, I mean, when am I going to be able to, like, be dangerous? When am I going to be a Donovan? I can't be a Donovan if Mickey's cleaning up my mess when the guy calls me. But within the story, it happens where Daryl really takes hold of himself and his situation being in this new position as a Donovan. And, but what Mickey does, Mickey's also positioning because he's always up to something. That's his character.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And oh God, it gets so good, guys. It gets so good.
Your
I'm
relationship is
excited.
so great with Jon Voight. The chemistry is
Yeah.
just shining through the screen.
Yeah.
How is it working with him?
That's my dad away from my dad,
Aw.
you guys. We call him Papa John. All my kids call him Papa John.
Papa John.
Like when I call him, I don't say, hey John, I say Pop. I call him Pop in the show and I call him Pop, you know, off the set. And he has such a father way about him that you can't help but to, you know what I mean? And he treats us like we're his kids. I probably have the best relationship with him because number one, I have the most stuff with him. And, you know, then I'm also a boxer. He played, you know, a fighter and a champ.
Right.
And I'm constantly like, give me something. I mean, the guy won an Oscar. I mean,
He's been in so many
veteran.
quintessential movies. Yes.
Yeah. So
a lifetime of movies.
yes. And he's so good. He's so good. And you want to learn from those people as an actor. Because like when you come out here to work in Hollywood, like people are like, oh, I want to do movies, I want to do TV and stuff. But to not only be in it, but then to be working with the heavy hitters that I'm working with, like I mean, Liev. See, someone asked me, so how's it like working with the both of them? I love working with the both of them. It's like the yin and the yang.
And Susan Sarandon.
And, well, I don't have anything with Susan.
Right, but she's there.
But she's there, and that's like a testament to, you know, the work that I put in to be able to be on the show with these people who have blazed the trail that I'm trying to run on. You know what I mean? But Liev has his process. He's like my big brother for real, and he has a different process. He's super, super cerebral and giving. And Jon is just fun, and like we find stuff because he's so giving and so like loose. You know what I mean? Like Liev is definitely like more intense, and so when you're on set with Liev, it's kind of like people are like kind of like sitting up straight, and they're listening, and then he just goes in. So you're like, okay, so where's he going as far as like this rehearsal or this, you know, explaining or trying to figure out how we can make the scene better? And you listen, and you're like wondering, and then it's like, wow. It's like, you know, he'll pull out another layer in the scene, or we'll make an adjustment, and it'll be like, whoa. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you may write a scene, guys, and it'll be great, you read it, and then we'll act it out and put it on his feet, and it's like, okay, something's missing. What's going on? It's like, you know, when we're cooking, it needs a little more sugar, it needs a little more like lemon or guac or whatever. And he's that guy. And then it's like, whoa. And he helps me that way because he's so smart. And he's always like thinking. It can be intimidating if you're not ready for it, but you know, at this point in time, I'm like ready, like, you know, coach me, teach me.
Yeah.
You know, and he fought for me to get in the film that we did together called Chuck, where I played Muhammad Ali and he played Chuck Wepner, and he fought for me to get in the film. And when we were working on it, he was just giving me all these tips and stuff like that because I got to see him outside of Ray in a different character, and like I was just like, this guy's he's the man. So that was a blessing. But the thing is, we all get along, and we're like family. So it makes what you guys see, the chemistry, like, wow, I just love this family. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Though we're dysfunctional. And but we trust each other and like have a chemistry similar to you guys, where we just click. We can just make it pop and take the scene to another level.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do, man, because the audience and people watching, that's what they're doing. They're watching. They're paying attention. They've invested in these characters to where it's like, okay, so I want to believe them. I want to love these characters. I want to see where they're going. I want to follow this journey. So I think that the producers and writers also have a hard job to make sure that they give us the stuff to where we can perform to where you guys continue to watch. So I'm just thankful. I'm super thankful.
I feel like you could definitely tell the chemistry. I can always tell because we're, you know, in after shows and producing whatever. Sometimes when I watch a show, I'm thinking about how people are acting and how they're producing. But with Ray Donovan, I don't know if you guys agree, but I get like lost in the characters because I actually believe you.
You definitely don't even have to, like some shows you have to consciously think about it.
Sure.
Ray Donovan, it is so natural that
Right.
it feels so real that the magic is just kind of there.
You're magic.
Thank you. And I was going to ask too, so you mentioned earlier that you're all about being real. So I was going to ask you, as an actor, what does that mean to you, and how do you stay real and true to the character in your role?
Great question.
I don't ever want you guys to walk away from something that I do and be like, yeah, I didn't believe him. That is a problem for me. When I do certain things in a scene, for you guys to even ask about the puke, you know what I mean? It's like, so what was that like? And it's like, they saw it, they paid attention, and then like I saw it, I felt it, and if I didn't believe in John's the same way, Leah's the same way, we won't move on until we got it. And you know, and then so sometimes the director's like, you know, you get one of those, go one more time, you know, or is there adjustment, something that you guys see that I can't, because you can't see it as you're performing it, but in my heart, I'm there, and it's so weird, guys, as actors, you lose yourself in it, you know. I just saw the documentary on Heath Ledger when he did the Joker, and he just you commit to the point, and they said, you know, God rest his soul, he was on my bucket list of one of the actors I wanted to work with, but he didn't like get so caught up in being the Joker that's what killed him, but he went in to become this character to where I want you to feel like if this guy was real, I feel this way, or like I can't believe this guy, but you have to believe it. And for me, I have to believe that I'm Daryl inside this dysfunctional family. That's why a lot of people are like, oh my God, like I feel so, they come to me all the time, like, when are you gonna get away from your father? And I'm like, oh my God, and like even you was like, I just want to give you a hug, and it's like people want to hug me because they feel so bad on how bad he treats me.
We thought the throw up was real. When you said that, I believed you.
Well, I mean, some people do go there. I mean, some people do go there on some of the stuff that I've heard as far as what actors do to get a real feeling, so that we don't ever want to be like fake. That's like that's weird. That's almost like you know, a basketball player who's doing a commercial or something or movie, and then someone has to shoot the ball for them for a specific shot. Like, well, we're just gonna throw it from the rafters. A basketball player was like, no, I'll try to make that shot. If we can't get it, like, then try to do something, but I won't want to fake me not making a shot. I mean, and that's just how it is. Same thing with like boxers. Or football players. Don't speed up the camera to make me seem fast. I am fast. Like, take the real time. And so as actors, we don't want to fake anything. That's not why we got into this. We got into it. I mean, as creepy as it may sound, we got into this to tell stories, okay? To reenact events or you know, whether a true story, whether, you know, science fiction or a comedy. We got into it to tell these stories to entertain you guys. We don't want you guys walking around like, you know, you guys, I want you guys to come back. And I mean, for me, I want you guys to say, hey, it's Pooch, I want to see what else he's in. You know what I mean? That's why we do it. We love it.
And before a long day of filming, I'm sure you have some kind of morning ritual or something that gets you into zone. Do you have like practices that you have to do?
I think for me, I do a lot of things it depends on what the project is or what the scene is. I'm always clowning. So even if it's a serious scene, I don't know if it's a nervousness that I have.
Ease the nerves and stuff.
I don't know, but I'll be on set like clowning, or I want to make sure everyone else is comfortable, and I want to make work fun, and I can kind of turn it on and off, you know. The only time I don't do that is very emotional scene. I tend to, but they also know, producers and directors also know, they like to kind of like, you know, not leave you alone, but like, oh, shh, okay, we need to quiet, guys. You know, and they'll come up to me, Pooch, you need anything? Okay. So it's like that, right? Or even if it's a scene that's not so emotional, I'll almost, and this will be part of me clowning, I'll almost act like I'm real emotional, and I'll call the AD. I'm like, I'll say, Anthony, I need to talk to you. Sure. Is everything okay? Yes, I just want to say you look great today. You know, so, but I am very fortunate that I can kind of go there. Sometimes it's a flip of a switch. Like, sometimes people think we're crazy, you know. That's weird, you know, but we can turn it on. Sometimes you do need preparation depending on what it is. I know Liev, because he has a lot of intense scenes, he'll be very quiet and very Darth Vader-y. You know,
I can see that.
You can see it.
We breathe it.
Yeah. We breathe everything he does.
I mean, yeah, he's intense, because a lot of people always come up to me because it's like, they're like, I wanted to say hello to Liev, but I was like, I'm scared. They go, you seem more approachable. I said, nah, he's good, man. Just go up to him, give him raspberries on his cheek, he'll love it. You know, he's so funny. Like Liev and Jon are so funny, but like Liev is very intense, and so when he's intense and you feel it, but then that's what it's about. I want you to feel it, and so we'll be in scenes. I'll be in scenes and I'll feel it. And it makes me better, and that's what we're all about. We're all about making each other better, because that makes a great scene, great show.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, I love being a performer and seeing your smiles or seeing your reactions, or I'm a fan. That makes me feel good, because then it makes me want to go back and do it more and do it better than the last time, and hence we're in our 5th season.
Yeah.
Like, that's big for a show.
Well, I had a question about that. So now you are in season 5, and you guys have been together. You must be thick as thieves.
We're super thick
And,
still.
and I'm wondering, when you do these scenes, you were saying like the producers go, okay, how do you feel? Do you all know when you've nailed it? Like, is it pretty a cohesive decision now that you all, because you've been together long enough?
Yes, it's like, I'm not sure who watches sports or who's played sports, but are you guys all from LA?
No.
I am.
No.
Not
Where are you from, honey?
Chicago.
Okay, so you know about the Bulls.
I have heard of them.
Okay. Okay, but I'm saying, when you have a unit that's been together, won a championship, won another championship, it's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Like the Patriots.
Like the Patriots, perfect example. I know where you.
Nice plug.
Yeah, exactly. I know where you want the ball. I know what this linebacker's gonna do for me to hand the ball off here. What audible to call? It's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And we know each other. We know
You can
what
read,
each other,
I'm sure, the
it's
body language.
That's totally what it is.
Yeah.
And we all have fun with each other, you know. And so I think that we'll ride this machine till the wheels fall off, or you know, or what have you. I see us going strong, especially after season 5. Like how it ends, it's like holy crap!
You're killing us here.
No, but you remember? Do you remember something? Do you remember last year? Do you remember last year when we were all dancing?
Yes, at the end.
And it was
yeah.
like, some people were a little thrown by that. People were like, "So is this the last year?" Like, that was like a weird ending.
Yeah.
This year doesn't end like that. It's very
Like a
cliffhanger-y. It's
All right.
cliff. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is now.
It is now after
let's
buzz.
get-
It's very cliffhangery, and I think as you have your 5th season, guys, you have to continue to raise the bar. You have to
Yeah.
keep shocking them because we got to keep you coming back, you know. So with that being said, I think how it ends. There is no dance party. It's like,
All right,
holy
okay.
shit, what did he
Okay.
do? What's that mean? What's going to happen to him? What's going to happen to her?
Oh.
Oh my God.
What's going to happen to her?
Hey.
Are
There's
you
only a
so-
couple females that we could,
Bridget,
Yeah.
that's
but
on our mind.
I mean, you could
Sure.
definitely see a difference, especially from last season to this one, because you know the vibe's different. Obviously, there's a different storyline, but now we're incorporating flashbacks and a backstory, something that we haven't done before.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Heavy
And
stuff too.
I think this episode particularly, I like the flashbacks the most for this one.
On 4, episode 4.
Yeah, but did you guys? I almost feel like Ray's being haunted by Abby because now he's like you know, when he
Hearing
has
her.
flashbacks, she's in the same room as him, and he's like finding her.
Well, he's remembering all these situations with her, so things will spark. This was a conversation we had, or this was something we
Yeah.
had done together, or that he's just
Or the clothes laying around
he's
the bed.
just trying to process it. I think emotionally still.
Well,
I don't know.
my father said, my father had this saying. He goes, "You don't miss your water till your well goes dry."
Yeah.
So now, as Abby's death has become the topic of season 5, so is Ray thinking about what was, or what it should be? You know, it's causing him to be in a position to where, you can see it's humanizing him.
Yeah.
And the whole time from 1 through 4, I mean, Ray, even though he has everything together, he is just as damaged.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh,
Even
yeah.
though
more.
even though he's the man, he walks around with the man like the man. He's
The
I got everything under control.
mask, yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
mask.
Yeah.
He's damaged, and the fact that, you know, in a way he is the glue for all of us, and the fact that he can't Humpty Dumpty us, it messes with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And part of the major problem for him is, you know, him trying to he's got to hold someone accountable, and he holds Mickey. He holds Mickey. Mickey's the blame.
He
Mickey's
blames
the
Mickey.
reason.
Always.
Mickey's the reason. Now, in my opinion, what I would like to see, and maybe we do see it, is they have to McGregor Mayweather. They have to come together, and they have to like fight. There has to be something really
Wow.
not like I'm sending you to jail. No. It's like something's
Combat,
not like a fight, but
like
something
skin
really.
to like close.
Not like I'm
There's so
sending
much
you to
animosity
Mexico.
between
There's
them.
something. I think Ray is looking for peace, or if he forgave Mickey,
He's got some
It-
therapy to
it's
do
super
before he's going to
therapy.
come to that.
and he's got some therapy to do, but he also has to, within all this soul searching, he's gonna have to make a choice. You know what I mean? Because now it's like, okay, what does this all mean? Abby not being here, who am I? Did I live because of her? It's wild how they did this season. So, but Mickey is like the bane. He's like the bane to Ray. He, like I said, there's the yin and the yang, and Jon being who Jon is, and him breathing life into Mickey. He's a powerful character.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's almost like you can't have one without the other, but you need something to happen for a shift to happen, or to get to that next thing. And it's going to be interesting as to what that is. And I see some stuff, especially working in Ray's office, to where I'm in a situation to where I'm kind of like, hey, Ray, you know, it's going to be fun.
Well, you can cut the tension with a knife.
Yeah,
for
like
Ray.
now you kind of have me thinking of the whole Avi situation.
Oh yeah.
Because that is going to be like a huge
And-
deal between the two of them. Because if it's Mickey's job to like kill Avi, and we know that Ray
won't
is so
happen.
loyal to him,
Yeah.
and you know they worked in that office.
that could be
Now
exactly
I'm
what
thinking-
you're talking about. Yeah, where
Hopefully
they
the next
finally,
episode.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I was going to say it's.
I'm laughing because I love it.
See, I was going to say that would be really hard to have some kind of down and out fight. Let's say, I don't mean like a
he's
fist
too
fight,
loyal
But you know what I'm talking about.
with-
It's
but some
like,
sort of breaking the tension, like
It's gotta-
something.
yeah.
But
Well-
the thing is with old age, Mickey's sort of become. I see in season 5, he's become like a lovable granddaddy. I mean,
Yeah.
he takes it all in stride. I'm gonna chop off this hand. Chop, chop. Let's move on, people.
I
Let's
think-
go. Let's fasten it. I mean, he's great and
He's
old
got-
grandfatherly.
I don't think he really likes that. He wants to get back to being the wolf.
Yeah.
And I think that's, in my opinion, that's when he was the most scariest.
Yeah.
He was unpredictable.
He's not scary right now.
He's not, and I think John as Mickey, I think he knows that, and I think, not saying this in a selfish way, but I think he wants some of the power back. He wants some of the power back. So I don't know if it's a creative move, but like he wants to be a little more dangerous again, and he just might.
And the way that I saw him too, when he was taking care of the sensei situation, I actually felt a little nervous because I felt like he might do something differently, especially when he said he was going to take Jay off alone on the boat and take
I
care
felt
of
that
this.
too.
When he said,
Fishiness,
he wants
yeah.
to call his lawyer, let me
Yeah.
handle this.
Well, here's
I
the-
wasn't sure how he was going to handle
Here's
it.
the thing, all of that is Mickey always has an angle. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what makes him great, is because in his mind, as Mickey's mind, as crazy and corrupt as stuff may be, it's normal to him. It's like justified somehow. And I think we definitely see the wolf, like the ears go up towards the end of the season
Yeah.
on stuff, because stuff really starts to get out of hand and unravel to where people have to make some choices and have to choose sides. So there's some stuff, and Abby's death is almost like the nucleus of everything. Like everything's revolving around that. So I think how they and trust me, there's no telling what they can do. After I finish season 5, they can go anywhere with season 6, and sky's the limit. You know what I mean? Sky's the limit. But I think you got to get dangerous. You have to get dangerous, and like you have to give these characters some edge to cause like that ripple effect. For if I do something, I'm gonna make you have to make a choice, and if the choice you make can affect you, and then it's
Dominoes.
now, and so now we're all looking at each other like, where you at? Where you at? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think if you have that conflict amongst a family that is so close knit, you know what I mean? I mean, you guys heard of stories of like, she doesn't talk to her brother, or he doesn't talk to his mom, and then blah 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 blah. It's like something like that. It's like, would they eventually come together? Do they eventually all go their separate ways? Do they kill each other off? Like it's so sexy how it goes towards like the end of the season. Because I know a lot of people were like, oh, the flashback, what's going on? And there's a little bit of confusion, and they like we want Ray Donovan back.
Right.
And you know, as you're telling the story, you still have to keep it in this. And the reality of it is like, you know, yeah, he has these answers for these superpowers like Susan Sarandon and these NBA guys and these billionaires, but he doesn't have an answer for himself.
Right.
Now you don't know what his rationale is as to how he may act in the situation. You don't know. It's crazy, but like, I mean, human error, man. It's just like you don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right, and that's why, I mean, he reminds me of Mickey in a way that they're both very calculated, and I feel like everything that they do always has a reason or a purpose. And I do feel like we're getting Ray a little bit back now that we saw he was in like heavy denial about the whole Abby situation, the flashbacks. But in this episode, we see him coming to terms with things. But as far as the domino effects that you mentioned and how like the family splits a little bit, I can't help but think about the situation with Bridget. I feel like that's huge for this episode.
That was
her
mind-opening.
suggesting that he may have purposely gotten
I
sick.
didn't say the family splits.
Well,
but there's some things that it's like, well, what's gonna happen? You know what I mean?
and so like if people find out if Ray did something this like heinous, you know, I'm not sure how, like, would the family be understanding because it was for the purpose of saving Abby, or like it's
I
still
don't think
kind of
so.
scummy.
So I took it like, now that we learned this, I feel like Bridget called her dad to basically rub it in his face, like, look at this kid's life that you basically took by making this choice.
And you see, there's definitely issues between he and his kids, though, because you would think, like, okay, the loss of another parent, you would think that it would make the relationship with the remaining parent stronger.
Oh, yeah.
No,
But it's, you don't see them talking at all.
But
like,
Abby was the glue. Abby was the glue.
Abby
She
was
kept
the glue.
everybody together.
Yeah.
She didn't like it that Ray wasn't talking to her father. Remember, like in season 1, she was like, "No, we're gonna go, kids. We're gonna go
invited him.
visit."
Yeah,
You know,
Grandpa.
Grandpa in jail.
Yeah. Letters in jail,
She
too.
kept
Yeah.
the whole family together. Now without her, I can see where maybe they could start eating away at each
Well,
other.
yeah, Connor
Yeah.
is in military or wants to go. You know, Bridget's all the way on the East Coast, and you know, we just see Ray right now slowly coming to terms by packing up Abby's clothes and stuff. But
He's not in the right frame of mind
No.
to really know what's going on.
He's not stable.
And so, well, of course, you gotta tie the world in somehow. And there's gonna be some things that you guys see that's
so
like brings us all together
together.
into the like this same world, because it's like, because we're kind of like Bunch's over here,
Yeah.
Terry's right
Yeah.
here, Daryl and Mickey's over here. Me, we're always kind of like together in a sense, because you know, Mickey doesn't really have a home base. Like, I mean, he floats a bit. He floats, and even Daryl floats a little bit. You know, I mean, it ain't like my mom wants me. So, but I'm kind of. So, we have all of us in our little forts, to where, you know, eventually, you know, the houses get blown down, and we're all sitting here looking at each other, and it's like I said, we eventually we're gonna have to choose what side we're on, and it gets, because there's a lot of history that hasn't gotten like resolved, to where it comes back to where it has to make people to make a choice and then make sacrifices. So I think that's what's going to be really interesting, because if you look at it, I mean, for the most part, other than Mickey not really being brought in because Ray is like the boss, you know, we're all kind of like, you know, we're family. You know what I mean? And even me to a certain extent. You know, I'm you know, Ray didn't really accept me, and there was some wild stuff with me and Ray, but with me, I know that there was something to where Ray liked me because of, like, in season 1 when he asked me to bury the priest with him.
All right.
He spoke to me in the thing where I was just like, how come you like me? And he said it's because of Mickey, you know. And I guess Daryl kept I was just around. I kept, like, you know. And then the fact that I'm around, there is a scene you guys haven't seen yet, to where I kind of confront him and ask him, you know, like, where am I at, you know? And it almost, I think after season 4, you know, and it's not that he's soft or anything, it's just like, all right, this kid's been around, let's see, because now all of a sudden I'm in the office now. He's just not gonna just let me be in there to make Mickey happy. You know what I mean? So that was like my chance to prove to him, and be like, hey, I'm a part of this family, and like, I am, even though I'm a half brother, I'm still a brother, you know, to them.
And you've always wanted in. I mean,
I
I think
wanted
that's
in.
endearing to Ray, how much you have stayed the course to get in.
Yeah, but it's also a dangerous want based off of who they all are.
Yeah.
And it's not even so much about like Terry and Bunchy, but like just all of us, like we're murderers. We're
Irish mob, basically.
we're murderers, man. Like, are you kidding? This is the family I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Is it and so that's what we see with Daryl. I mean, does he want that power that Ray has, or does he want his own individuality to where it's just like I can be better than them? You know what I mean? Because I'm the only brother other than Ray who's kind of somewhat stable.
And that's oh, I'm sorry.
No, go.
That's what I'm sensing too, is that Daryl as a character is just, even though, like, I just feel like he's different and he's better than the rest of them.
He's got potential.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that he could be a better person than the other members of the family too. And I just don't see his character getting as involved with the bad things as the other members of the family.
Well, because he comes from such a different place, right? All the brothers grew up in Boston, you know, in a kind of rough growing up, whether it was like the priest situation or they've all gotten to trouble one way or another. And here comes Daryl from Palm Springs that lived with his mom. You know, you're coming from a totally different world.
But you know the saying, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
And that's like I said, it's so crazy knowing what's going to happen. I can't really tell you. But it's like, be careful what you wish for, because even at the end of season 12, it's like, oh, shit.
I'm excited.
Well, and I'm happy because we've been talking all along the first couple episodes of this season. We've been saying, like, oh, my God, there's so many storylines.
Exactly.
But from what you're saying, it seems like they're all going to come together.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's because of the flashback and trying to put it all together. Because if you introduce something like that, it's like, okay, so if we introduce this, then it's going to change it this way, it's going to change it this way, and it's got to make sense, and it's got to be real, and it's got to get us to the next point or to the next season, or you know what I mean? Or, you know, fans will call bullshit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trust me, I hear it all, every day, twice a day, 1,000 times a day on social media, because, like, I'm heavy into promoting, and you know, I just was in Las Vegas on the fight, and I was doing live Instagramming I took over the Ray Donovan.
I was in that live discussion.
It was crazy.
I loved it.
Thank you. I was supposed to be going live in T-Mobile Center, but the reception was
awful,
crazy. It wouldn't kick over or wouldn't stay on, but everybody was like this.
It was pretty good, though. I watched everything.
Cool.
I watched your story and your live stream. So how was the whole vibe in Vegas being
in there? It was electric.
Yeah. You were there with your wife.
I was there with my wife.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of Ray Donovan characters went
They
there.
were all
Like
there?
Dominique was there.
Dominique was there. Dash plays Bunchy, and Paula, she's Irish, so she was there rooting for Conor McGregor. But it was just me, Paula, Dash, and Damon, two of our producers. You know, Cass from Shameless. I mean, Don Cheadle from House of Lies. What's the comedy one? It's funny up there. No.
Oh, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
No. That's no. It's
I'm Dying Up
I'm
Here.
Dying Up Here. Is that? Is that,
right.
Oh no,
Yeah.
but it's because it's the whole Showtime crew, right?
Showtime.
Because
Well,
the
Showtime.
fight was on Showtime,
Right.
But it was electric, and
Wow.
you know, I was very fortunate to go to like a lot of the Mayweather fights since being on Ray Donovan, and this one was the biggest.
Wow.
And it was only the biggest because you had the two biggest superstars in combat sports coming together.
Right.
And you know, and they put on a hell of a show. I mean, people can say what they want, but it's sports entertainment.
Yeah.
And you know, who's gonna say no to that fight? Who's gonna not want to see them get together and go at it? You know what I mean? It's Vegas, it's Hollywood, showbiz. You know?
And you grew up boxing too.
Yes.
That's
Like,
what's
did
so
you
fun.
ever think that you would be sitting there like ringside at one of the biggest fights in the world?
No. I mean, at one point in time, I wanted to be the champ of the world, and I boxed, and it wasn't at the time. It wasn't a realistic goal. It was, but it wasn't. And I was like, I'm not sure if I can make a living off of this. And you know, the two big names that came out of my town was Marvelous Marvin Hagler and Rocky Marciano. And at the time when I was coming up, Tyson was the big name. And I was like, and I won Southern New Golden Gloves. I won a lot of. I'm 23-0 as an amateur fighter.
Wow.
But I've had like at least 100 some odd fights.
Yeah.
But it's like, am am I gonna, you know what I mean? Am I gonna do this? Because like I see a lot of fighters now, and it's sad.
It's hard.
Struggling,
It's
Oh, it's
sad.
hard.
Ali, I mean, it was sad. I mean, I ran into Terry Norris out here, and boxing can do a number on you, man. I mean, when I was filming the game, we filmed in Atlanta, and we shot at Evander Holyfield's like complex, and you know, I would talk to him, and it's just like, man, and like people don't understand, like when you get hit in the head with that pressure, that number of times, like it eventually is gonna do something to you, and like you gotta give Mayweather his props for he's 50-0, for what he's accomplished. I can't give him the greatest boxer ever because Muhammad Ali was my guy. He fought everyone. He had a heart like you wouldn't understand. And you know, knowing all this research I had to go do to become Ali for the Chuck film, he's it for me. And you know, you got these two guys who come together to give the fans what they want. I mean, think about it, guys. Social media is king. I mean, you can put anything out on social media, and it can start a rumor, it can start a buzz, a trend. It can make somebody can make a movie, or you know, you can get the news or information before the news gets it. Like social media is huge, and so when this thing kind of was birthed between who would win out of Conor and Floyd, and the fans kind of went in, it's like, how can you not make that fight? So it's sports entertainment, and you know, and it was probably the biggest ticket money-wise in boxing history.
Like the cheapest seats were like 6,000 or 5,000.
Oh my gosh.
It was
the cheapest.
And that place, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't see any empty seats. Like maybe in the rafters, but people were there.
It's so hard for me to understand why anybody would want to live that life. But my only connection to boxing is that Muhammad Ali's niece is my locker partner in high school.
Oh, wow.
Alicia Ali. Hi.
Hey.
That's it. That's all I know.
That's awesome.
That's it.
See, it's
a small world.
That's
Locker
funny.
partner, that's adorable.
Well, unfortunately, we kind of have to wrap it up here. I know we reached the
can talk to you all
hour,
day.
but we got so much juice. Like I feel like I'm really anticipating the next couple episodes.
Thank you so much.
Real quick, we have a comment in the chat from Hubby Joe. He says that Pooch is a really friendly person.
Oh, thanks, Hubby Joe. I'll call you Hub for short.
And we had a few proposals on my Snapchat. Oh my God, I love the game. I love Ray Donovan.
Yeah.
Yep.
The game put me on.
It
The game
did.
was big.
Rockstar.
Yeah, it was
BET,
big for
of
me.
course.
Yeah, and the
Shout out.
CW. And the
Yeah,
CW.
NCW.
So yeah. But thank you guys. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Our
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Yeah. So, you know, thank you guys for tuning in, and leave us some comments what you predict. You know, now we know that there's going to be a
got a
lot
little
of
bit.
changes and a lot to look
Uh-huh.
forward to. So let us know what you think. Again, I'm Olivia Gabaree. You can hit me up at The Real OG.
And thanks for tuning in. I'm Louiza Sharamatyan. You can find me on Instagram at Nobody Reads Anymore, and on Twitter at Nobody Reads.
Folks, thanks for being here. I'm Elysabeth Alfano. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at DinnerPartyCHGO, and check out all my celebrity interviews at thedinnerparty.tv.
And I'm Rachel Goodman. Hashtag Abby should be alive. And you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Rach Goodman, or on Facebook at Rachel Ann Goodman. You can also find me every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time doing the Young and Restless Rap.
Hey, and Pooch, let them know to right in your mic. Where can we find you?
Instagram, I am Pooch Hall. And Twitter, I am _Pooch Hall. Facebook, I don't run it, but I'm out there too on that.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.